Hey everyone, I'm Norn Queen Alexis, and welcome back to another episode of Dark Heresy. We're on episode 90, and we finally landed on a planet that is kind of awesome, I'm not gonna lie. We are on a shrine world, there are Sisters of Battle, I'm super excited, but with a proper recap, here's Victor.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Vicky the GM, and welcome back to the Queen's Court. When we last left our heroes, after resting up from the attack on the Oath Unspoken, the Warband prepares to descend to the surface of Ossuar with Saint Taya. Heresy speaks with Rosalina and negotiates an exchange where Dr. Polonia stays on the Oath Unspoken, and Morno goes along with the Warband. Gathering in their secret hangar, the Acolytes board the Arbus lighter and head planetside. Landing near the Mausoleum of Remembrance, a continent-spanning structure, the Acolytes are met by the Arch-Cardinal of Ossuar, Conseg, and two squads of Battle Sisters of the Shining Blade, led by their Canoness Lieutenant Leona. Saint Taya is taken away to be judged by the Cardinals of Ossuar, with Tarvok following in tow. The rest are free to do as they wish.
I mean, currently I'm walking with the, Canoness.
Indeed, and she is walking behind them, walking some paces behind as the sisters are escorting the congregation of priests and cardinals.
Alright.
So, yes.
I'm gonna look towards the Canoness Lieutenant. I got her name, right?
Yes, Leona. Let me type it into Roll20 just for convenience sake. Leona.
I'm just gonna look to her and say, so, we're in accord about the Hospitaller, correct?
Wait, did you ask about this last time?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I totally blanked on this. Well, in any case, I'll assume we did. As you are walking, the Canoness Lieutenant does not look towards you, but her gaze is kept straight ahead, and she says, "Yes, I have a particular one in mind, though I'm loath to let her go."
Good. I will have to meet this person. Do a proper inspection, questioning, interrogation. Typical routine of what I do to the rest of my party. Is that okay with you?
Of course, as long as I am there and present.
Very well. I also require one more thing.
Name it.
I need to talk to a sister of the Order Proteus.
At this, the Canoness looks over to you, though you're still walking, and lifting her remaining eyebrow, and says, "I was not aware that." She says, "That is a obscure part of the orders. I am surprised you have heard of them."
I have learned a lot about the sisterhood through my Fabulosa. She taught me much about your ways.
Do you mean famulous?
Famulous. Famulous, sorry.
Although, I wonder if there is a order fabuloso that handles the clothing of the sisterhood.
Probably.
I heard they found a full Nash.
Oh no.
Alright, so let me rephrase that. I heard
Yes.
a lot from my Famuloso, Ren Roseless. She was, she is now a Sister Superior of the Order of Our Martyred Lady.
I see. I was not aware she was in the sector. I'll make sure to send her an astropathic communique.
But,
So,
as you can tell, my war gear is a little bit rough, to say the least.
the Canoness Lieutenant looks you over and says, "Indeed, it seems like it has seen better days."
There's only so much a tech priest can do.
Yes, although they are necessary. God damn it, Noble. for those who are wondering what I'm laughing at, apparently Fabuloso is also a floor cleaner.
Yes, it is.
But moving on.
Okay.
So, the Canoness Lieutenant nods her head over at Tarvok, who is skittering along with a congregation that is escorting Thea, and says, I must say, he is quite more advanced he is quite more advanced than any other priest I've seen on Ossuar. Which rank does he hold? Although, make no mistake, this is merely a formality of mine. I do not know the slightest thing about Mechanicus hierarchy.
The hierarchy is still for the most part a mystery to me as well, though he does call himself an arch-fabricator.
I see. Sounds high-ranking.
It allows him to build certain technologies, I believe on non-STC constructs as well.
At this, Tarvok will start sweating.
Well, no, that is actually something they're allowed to do.
Yeah, like custom building stuff, like, non-heretical stuff, is that thing.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's sweating at the stuff he's built that he knows he's not supposed to be built.
Right,
Anyway.
Of course, but the Canoness doesn't know that. So, you hear a whirring sound from the bionic eye on the Canoness as she seems to be focusing her bionic gaze further on Tarvok, but there's little that she could glean from his backside.
Victor, I made an awareness test, and I just look around and just get a sense of if anyone's looking around, like anyone like in the background staring at Thea, or anyone kind of giving us weird eyes, etc., etc.
Indeed, you do in fact see, as you are walking along, you can see in side halls and alleys that as soon people catch eye, you see that you can hear the hushed whispers of the people around. Although you do note in the crevices and crannies or niches rather, all around you, you can see that there are disciples of the machine god spread around in somewhat higher numbers than you have seen, on any other planet you've been recently. And
what
you
color
note
are
that
the robes?
their color robes are white with a red trim.
I'm gonna look back towards the Canoness.
Indeed.
And just say, that bionic eye, that must have quite the story.
Oh, yes. There was this I earned from a greenskin monster on Miro's Kappa. I have recently returned from there, and this, she gently taps her bionic eye and says, this was a gift from the greenskins.
Well, the Emperor preserved you.
Indeed, he does protect, although having a meltagun never hurt.
And I'm just gonna tap the one on my backpack real quick and just be like, I know that too well, though this thing is a little bit slow when it comes to drawing it.
Yes, you do seem a little bit encumbered by your massive war gear.
Unfortunately, tools of the trade. You never know what we're gonna run into.
Indeed. At this point in your travels along the various routes in the Mausoleum of Remembrance, the congregation of priests and battle sisters that are escorting Thea take a left turn, but Canoness Leona, not going to bother with a full title every time, motions you in the other direction.
Tarvok, would you be willing to follow the saint?
With that, he he bows and says, "Of course, Rosalina. I will follow her and keep her safe as I have been tasked."
And real quick, I'm just gonna go on my microbead. Liversian. And I'm gonna turn my head so that I'm not facing the Canoness.
Yes, Mom.
Are you still at the ship?
Currently, yes. Winding down the engines.
Get the coordinates for where Tarvak is and assist him.
There.
The other
Would
will
you-
stay with me.
Very well. Would you prefer I go more unseen or...
Yes, gather what you can from the various people around. See what the words and whispers are from the crowd. There's a strange tech cult on this planet. I believe Tarvak wants you to check that out, though he didn't directly say that.
Well, be sure to do so then. Is that all?
That should do.
Very well. Once I'm done with the vessel, I shall be underway.
Thank you. And I'm going to turn back to the Canoness real quick.
Yes?
Oh, out of character, the other is Morno to follow me.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
But I gotta say so that everybody...
Fine.
Yeah, what?
Fine.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do my stealth test if that's okay.
Go for it. Yeah, you're fine.
And Tarvak.
He as he presses his finger to his microphone, he kind of claps his respirator back on so that his mouth is covered and says, "Yes, Rosalina."
You were looking at the strange people in white cloth.
Oh,
They
nice.
are... And I'm gonna do an awareness really quickly. Wow! I'm gonna just keep that and just say, I assume they're part of your people?
What do you mean, your people?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I mean, and I'm saying that in front of the Canoness.
Victor, would this be scholastic or forbidden lore?
This would be scholastic lore.
I think I got it.
Yeah, I think you got it too.
Sorry, I dropped something.
So, Tarwak, you recognize easily the sigils and inlaid runes in the robes and the coloration. This is a sect from the Forge. Hold on, I need to really quickly check the map because
The Mechanicus doesn't believe in sex anymore.
wait, what?
It's all Zeons there.
Sect.
You get the memo.
Mostly do it by cloning, right?
Sect.
I know, I just had to mess with you. Continue.
You butt. Fine.
I'm guessing this isn't some Sylvanus binary, is it?
No, this is not Sylvanus binary. This is these are members of the Rodin 4 Forge World.
Oh lord.
Indeed. But you recognize them as being owing allegiance to Forge World Metallica.
Yes. I can get new
What
music
ca-
while I'm here.
Sorry, Biggie. I'm gonna make you do this. What can you tell me about Forge World Metallica?
I can tell you that their battle cry is Ride the Lightning.
That's it.
I would have to grab a book, but I know their color scheme, which is mostly white with red trimming. And
What's their? I just want to know like what's their like shtick? What do they produce?
hold on. I have the Cult Mechanicus book right in front of me.
Of course you did.
Yeah, here we go. Mars, Agrippina, Stages 7, Graia, Riza, Metallica. Sweet. With the lore test, the Forge World of Metallica is inimical to life. The sole exceptions are the legions of the Cult Mechanicus that purposefully keep the planet bare so their work can continue in blessed sterility. By their toil does the Forge World thrive, imposing order and logic upon the worlds nearby. The only real blight upon Metallica's history of terrible efficiency came from within. In 923, which is like 70 years ago, yeah, the Lucidian Schism saw hardline Fulgurites shoot down the Corpuscari congregation on a pilgrimage to Mars, claiming their wasteful ways would destroy the balance of the priesthood upon the Red Planet. The resultant civil war raged for several hundred years, and the planet has been the lodestone for militant electro-priests ever since. The last millennium has seen Metallica's cult mechanicus united once more against a common threat, that of the demon. Metallica's tech priests have a special revulsion for anarchy, and when the industrial linchpin of the world of Armageddon was invaded by the forces of chaos, their priesthood was quick to answer its calls. Metallica's overseers were driven by morbid curiosity as much as a sense of duty and solidarity, but redacted.
Of course. So this everything checks out. This sect is completely natural and nothing of
Spooktacular nature.
spectacular nature.
Although I was reading from the Cult Mechanicus 7th edition book, and they seem to have put a lot of different info into the 8th edition codex. But I don't have that, since Alexis has it in her bedroom.
It's not in my bedroom, it's in my living room. You what?
Fine.
Anyway.
Fine, you have it. But no, Metallica is, nothing untoward.
Alright, let's see. And let's put this. When I looked at them, did they have any augments that like kind of would catch the eye or can be considered like maybe more eccentric than I have, or no, not eccentric as I have, but like, do they have anything that sticks out? Like to my eye.
Most of as you scan the reams of data emanating from the various tech priests, you recognize that most of them seem to be implanted with the luminen capacitors.
God, who uses those?
Yeah, what kind of loser would use that?
All right, Victor, I'm gonna do something dumb. I'm gonna activate my comm reach.
Oh boy.
I'm assuming you're walking away as you do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm such a mechanical. Like this is under my robes.
Yeah, like he can do a lot. Let's just say Tarvok can multitask a lot.
Yeah, but I'm assuming he's not going to be there with the Canoness doing this.
No. Like they have walked off.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm with the.
Yeah,
Canoness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember I turned left with the Saint, you turned right with the Canoness.
Yes.
So I'm gonna activate that and just to see what I can get. Do I need to roll like a security check to keep it on the down low?
No, you don't need to roll a stealth test because
security.
Security. Oh yeah, you have to actually hold on, let me check something. What is the test required for the comm leech? It is, hold on, gear, cybernetics.
Because just like this is me being like Secret Service to this Saint. Like I know we're safe, but you know, we did just kind of have a warp issue.
Right. Here we go. Comm leech, a somewhat heretical item in the eyes of the Mechanicum. Whoops. These tap into Vox signals or data transmissions. After making a successful tech use test with the GM setting the difficulty based on the situation and signal, the user can use it to receive a signal or transmission within 1 kilometer for a number of minutes equal to his degree of success. If the character fails by a number of degrees of failure greater than his intelligence bonus, the sender and receiver of the signal become aware that someone is attempting to tap in. Okay, so here, what was that?
Yes.
Yeah, but still roll because you can't always roll 100.
No, I'm saying I'm mastery tech using it.
Right, you're mastery tech using it. All right. So you hear. Actually, you were asking about this right before the, what's it called? Right before the session. As you tap into the, I wonder if you tap into the local equivalent of the noosphere, which, although it is way less than the normal traffic on a Forge world or even a Hive world, you are able to hear the lingua technis being used by the Rodin. Actually, would they be? Hold on. People from Rodin 4, would they be Rhodians?
Rodons.
Rodons?
Rodents.
Rodons. Very funny.
I
Let's
think
go.
would work.
Let's go with Rodons for fun's sake. So as you tap, you're able to tap into the noosphere that the Rodonian tech priests are using, and you find that their dialect of the lingua technis seems to have a lot of mannerisms and strange dialectics that you don't recognize. And you can roll for me linguistics, lingua technis. Nailed it. Quickly establishing the missing links of their lexicon, you are able to scroll through the reams of data that are buzzing about. And it seems that the tech priests, much like you have been doing to them, they have been doing to you, analyzing what data they're able to see, able to glean from you, and distributing it amongst themselves as they query and postulate between themselves.
And they were
They
a bunch
see-
of queer tech priests.
Now, okay, so is this like my natural like data stream, or are they trying to tap into like the stuff I don't want them to tap into?
No. Like this is like when tech priests just exist, they have,
Yeah,
for instance, like greeting codes
the motive
for each
aura.
other. Yeah, like just this is the background data that you
Yeah.
exude from yourself.
They're quite literally checking you out.
Yeah,
Yeah, like yeah.
actually,
like, I got,
actually, they're pinging him.
Girl, you
They
see
really
the
are.
cogs on that one? Oh my
Like-
god, they look fabulous. Like,
Yeah.
just straight up mechanical arms and everything, slender form. Like, damn, he knows what he's doing. Yo,
So,
let me get
look,
his binary.
Oh my god.
look, all I'm gonna say is I have 6 arms to swipe right. But anyway, Victor, do I know? Victor, do I know who what the leading kind of who would be the head mechanicus in this contingent? Like,
You.
on a short board?
That is going to require some investigation to figure out, or explication rather. Not a full-blown explication, just a way to figure something out.
Am I within range? Like, cause I'm doing this while I'm like keeping an eye out on things. Is anyone like talking to me or like looking at me like they're trying to start a conversation?
No, it seems that the Rodin 4 tech priests seem more interested in keeping to themselves,
I
and
get that.
none of them have actually attempted to open data Vox communications with you.
Also, at this point, I'm going to offer a piece of candy to Taya because I'm sure she's like nervous. And he
As you-
says he'll
Oh.
kind of reach over and say, "Yeah, take this. It might take some of the edge off."
Taya takes the candy, though she does, but she merely palms it, seemingly nervous about doing anything untoward in front of all of these holy dignitaries. You see her clenching her hand as though the piece of candy was a tiny, tiny stress ball.
It is licorice,
True.
and I just realized I'm the call to this Celestine.
Ah.
Yes,
But,
quite literally you are,
This-
and I'm Greyfax.
Ha.
Goodness.
Goodness me, aren't you just a bunch of harbingers of things to come?
More knows your brain.
No.
Wait, that would mean Nubel is Gilliman.
No.
Wow.
I'm either Gilliman or I'm
Like-
what's his name, the Grey Knight guy that nobody cares about.
Voldus. Oh yeah, Voldus, because everyone forgets about him.
Yeah.
But at this point, Tarvok will speak up. And where are we going exactly?
One of the priests actually answers you in this case and says, "We are leading the saint," and he puts a strange emphasis on the word, "to her quarters where she will stay until a discernment of spirits can be arranged."
And I assume I will be allowed to stand guard and watch over her, as is my charge.
You may stand guard, or a guard can be assigned to her chambers, and all of you are welcome to enter and or leave.
Indeed. I have a question for you. What can you tell me of the cult machina of this planet?
The young-ish priest, mostly exacerbated by his lack of hair and facial hair, scratches his chin, but quickly gathers his composure. He's not a twink. Like I said, young-ish. He's like 25 or something.
That's a twink.
While I ask this question, I'm kind of gonna kind of loom over them.
All of them?
Can I?
Well, let's say one. He says...
Over the small one.
Small. He says, well, I must say I am unsure who would be the leader of the Mechanicas, though you should speak. I'm honestly unsure what type. Actually, let's just go with... You should speak with head engine seer Lazarus. He is the one who maintains the stasis crypt. Actually, called that? Let's go with that. Yeah, he is the one who maintains the stasis crypts in the Mausoleum of Remembrance. They are quite. He is quite the miracle worker.
And with that, my eye will turn red, and I'll say, "Miracles? No. All things are designed by schematic from the machine god."
That is an interesting way of looking at it. And the priest, he effectively ends the conversation as he moves back to his place in the column.
And at that point, I will say, can I move back to Taya? Because she's about my height in that armor, right?
No, not really. She stands taller than she normally would, but she about reaches your shoulders.
Yes, and I kind of whisper to her, "Just remember, the threat of violence can often solve problems before they begin." And I kind of point to a mechanism on the scythe. "Give that a twist should you think if you need to intimidate. It will cause a massive load of sparks to fly out from the blade." It's quite impressive, actually.
Taya does not reply, but you can see her nodding.
Indeed. And at that point, I will continue my kind of scanning back and forth for any kind of unwarranted observation or looks. And at this point, I will kind of deploy one of my first of 3 scout vermin into the area.
Alrighty, scout vermin deployed. You see not unwanted attention, merely expected attention, as well. The fact that Taya looks the way she looks, she is, in fact, drawing eyes on her, and rumors will no doubt start flying like, well, living saints.
Indeed. And the priests are just like standing there, like walking quietly, or are they like announcing her?
No.
Good.
The most noise that you hear is the power-heeled boot of the Battle Sisters as they hit the floor in marching unison.
Yes, and the sisters aren't giving me any eyeballs, I hope.
No, their eyes are straight ahead, which, although it is hard to tell since all of them are wearing helmets.
Okay. So far, as of right now, everything is currently. I don't see any
A-OK,
red dots
hunky-dory
anywhere.
putting in pie.
Yeah. So no red dots. No. Okay.
No overt danger
Only
has
the
been
enemy.
registered.
Only the enemies within, without, and beyond.
Indeed.
Can I make our perception just to confirm
To confirm dangers?
that there are none?
Yes, roll your awareness test. Yes, indeed. As Morino shadows Rosalina and the Canoness, she gives the congregation of holy dignitaries one final look, and as she scans the area, she is unable to find any overt threat. Overt or covert, rather.
Okay, so really quickly, that stealth test that I did, it's
Yes?
to try to hide that I'm talking really quickly.
Right. Who are you talking to then?
Marno, closed circuit comms.
Alrighty.
So if you want to roll against it
Yes, I will.
with the Canoness.
Let me see. Da, 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 da. Ooh. That is a good roll. Let me see.
I'm just gonna say, like, very calmly with my hand up to my mouth, any dangers?
No.
Okay.
As you're walking along, and some time has passed in silence, the canoness speaks up and says, "If you have other acolytes, I would be well and truly appreciative if I was informed of."
Just one.
Oh, and may I know who that is so that my sisterhood does not shoot them on sight?
A tall, slender woman. A voidborn. Very strange looking.
I see. And she serves you in what capacity?
Shadowing.
I see.
Also, my
Or-
comm is on while I say all of this, so
Right.
Marno can actually hear this.
The canoness responds saying, "I see," and after hesitating for a slight moment, or rather, "I don't." Give her my regards. She seems highly skilled.
Very much so. Sometimes I lose track of her. And
Indeed.
at that, I'm gonna actually smile.
Right.
Did you want me to roll deception for any of that?
No, that is technically not a lie. You're lying by omission, but she didn't ask you if you were harboring a Xenos.
Yeah, and as far as I know, Morno was born into the cast of Ranger.
Well, no one is born into the cast of Ranger.
Well, I mean, she was born in the care of a Corsair, meaning she is technically a Voidborn.
Right.
Although, any of them is a Voidborn. When you think about it.
Not the Exodites.
Well, yeah, that's true. Anyway, back to it.
So, as you walk along, the canoness leads you along the winding maze-like walkways of the mausoleum, and you arrive finally in a small what can only be described as a mix between a workshop and a library, with various display casings strewn about, as their stasis fields hold various artifacts and items. In the center of this room, you see a steel work table scattered about with various tools, and behind this table is a let's see, is a black-haired sister. She's she her hair, her black hair, is cut in the same. What is the
Bowl cut.
sister of bowl cut? Okay.
Yeah, it quite literally is a bowl cut, but that's only the Order of Our Martyred Lady. The rest of the
it?
sisterhood is allowed to grow their hair out as long as they want.
Fair enough.
As far as the art that I've seen for any of the other sisters, usually they do have longer hair.
Right. This sister is, let's call it the traditional bowl cut of the Order of the Martyred Lady, but her robes give her away as a member of the Shining Blade. She seems to be busying herself, attempting to screw apart some clockwork device in front of her, and seems so focused on her work that she does not notice either of you as you walk inside.
Well, that's
The
gonna be a
Canada-
horrifying sight. Like, do. Oh god, I'm gonna die.
Why?
It's a canoness sneaking up on you.
Yeah, but
That's
she's
spooky.
not. Yeah, it is spooky, but she has nothing to fear, probably. the As the two of you stop near the entrance of the room, Canoness Leona lifts her power-heeled boot and stamps the heel down into the cobblestones. With a startled jerk, the woman near the work table looks up quickly and gasps as she sees the canoness and some unknown woman. Quickly making the sign of the Aquila and apologizing profusely, she says, "My Lieutenant Canoness, I did not hear you enter." No worries. I am here to. I have been brought. I have here on a request from Interrogator Lockwood.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know that I'm an interrogator. She thinks I'm a inquisitor.
Oh right. God damn it! I forgot about that. Let me rephrase that then. I'm here on the request of Inquisitor Lockwood, and she looks over to you. As the canoness mentioned this, the sister at the workshop drops the tool that she is holding, and that clangs to the ground. And there's a look of awe and fear mixing on her face, as she seems unsure what to do.
Canoness, please, just call me Rosalina.
Of course.
You there. What is your
yes.
name?
I am Sister Mysandra. Let me type her name into the chat, so if anyone wants to write it down. Can you type out that order that she's for, because I've barely ever heard of it.
Ah, here you go. Technically, this is an outside order, so they work with, and not for, and not are.
Right, Pronatus. Of the order Pronatus. Can I help you?
Yes. And with that, I'm gonna draw my sword and walk towards her.
You see Sister Mysandra take a few steps back as she holds up her hands.
Don't worry, I'm not here to harm you. And I'm gonna lay the sword down on the table. I need you to check out my war gear. Work on it. It's had
Uh,
the
Go ahead.
it's had the craftsmanship of a very skilled tech priest. But, as you know, the spirit is far more important than the mechanics. Keep in mind,
Uh,
this is an actual thing that Rosalina believes.
right.
I need you to look over the blade. It is a force power sword or a nemesis weapon. I don't think you've ever seen anything like this. But if
Uh,
you...
but as the with the sword out of your hands and on her table, the woman's curiosity seems piqued uh, as she looms over the sword, and she holds her hand. Her hands hover over the blade, and she looks to you as if asking permission.
Yes, go ahead.
Gently lifting up the sword, Sister Lysandra examines it carefully and even grabs some strange headgear with multiple lenses attached to it, and starts examining it. Starts examining the blade intently. Uh, she flips through multiple lenses of her strange headgear, and looks back up to you and says, "This is completely out of my realm. The artistry and craftsmanship on this, there is very little I can do without possibly breaking it."
Very well. And with that, I'm gonna reach for the sword.
She hands it over to you.
Linus has been a useful instrument. Now, what about my other war gear? And with that, I'm gonna take my backpack off and set it down so that the melt-a-gun is there and unstrap it. This thing is a little bit worse for wear.
She hefts the melt-a-gun, and you see her. You actually see Sister Lysandra handling the melt-a-gun with practiced ease as she unloads the melta canister to make sure that the weapon is safe. She goes through various motions of checking the various feed lines and the firing mechanism. She holds it up to her shoulder, aims it around a bit, and says, "Yes, this weapon could use some maintenance, though this seems to have been used very recently." And she points to the warped effect around the barrel of the melt-a-gun.
Unfortunately, yes. A raid of some sort. I cannot give any other information about that.
Then I will not ask. What do you wish me to do with this?
Well, change out the front part of the barrel if necessary. If it is warped, it'll break. I need you to fix that. Aside from that, I want you to bless the weapon itself, and various other parts of my war gear. Check them over. Make sure that they are in full operating capacity. Can you do that for me?
She nods her head and says, "There is something that I could give you in the meantime." And you see Sister Lysandra eyeing the canoness, and the canoness looks at her sternly before nodding, and then Sister Lysandra runs off to the other side of the room and starts rummaging through crates and containers. Before,
And I'm just going to look over to the canoness. What is she doing?
don't worry, it's one of her projects.
Very well.
And before long, Sister Lysandra comes running back, and in her hand seems to be an antiquated pistol with an elongated, archaic barrel.
What in the Emperor's name is that?
This is something that I've been working on for some time. And none of the sisters dare use it. Well, mostly because Canoness Lyona won't let any of them use it. It's according to her, and she goes sheepish at this point, saying it hasn't been test fired yet.
What is it?
Well, it works on the same principle as your melta-gun, but it is much, much smaller.
Let me see it, and I'm gonna hold out my hand real quick.
Please be careful with this, and she hands you the grip of the gun.
Does this weapon have a name? Oh, and
No.
hang on, before you say no, I will give you the actual name of it.
Well, she doesn't have a name for it.
Nope. Nope. Here's the name for it. It's in Queen's Court chat.
Fine.
It's cool.
Yes, although I'm nervous to say so, I call it the Redemption's Light.
Engravings, Forge World, what is this from?
I don't know. I don't know many Forge Worlds. I know of Sylvanus Binary close by and Cerix Magnus, but that's about it.
Have you ever test-fired this weapon?
Like I said, no. The weapon has not been test-fired yet.
Operating it under stress conditions might be dangerous, but I'm sure...
I'm offering you this only because, well, I have been strictly prohibited from handing it to my sisters, but you're not one of them.
At that, Rosalina's just gonna be like, slightly... ouch.
Well, he means well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bow my head and take the weapon and put it on my side.
So, you're leaving all of your other stuff and only have Lioness, White, and this thing?
Yep. Sacrifice is safely aboard the ship still.
Didn't you give that to Morino?
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh,
Wait,
fair enough.
No, wait, did I already?
I thought you did.
Okay, then yeah, she has it.
Alright. So, while this is happening, Morino, are you keeping an eye out and an ear out
Yes.
on the outside of this workshop library?
Yeah, I figured I would be outside the workshop because, well, I might have gone inside it. I probably could sneak past them pretty easily. But I assumed I wasn't, so we'll say I wasn't.
Alrighty. So, as you're hiding and keeping watch and keeping an eye out in the hallways outside, you hear you can hear slight whispering on the edge of your hearing, which, given your Eldari enhanced senses, is quite far away.
Can I make out what it says?
If you were to sneak closer and have a listen.
Alright, then I shall make a stealth check and move in the direction of it.
Indeed, I will roll a generic awareness test against you, seeing how it is very unlikely that you will be heard. Well, I failed horribly, and you gained a bunch of successes.
Yes, I did. I got lots of degrees of success.
Yeah, I believe those are like 8 degrees of success, because +2 for being a ranger.
I thought it was 7, but yeah, now that you mention it, you're right. I forgot to add the +1. It's 8.
Yeah. So, as you blend into the shadows, and, well, your chameleon cloak does a lot of the work, but you're able to sneak closer and listen in near a side hallway as you can hear two robed figures whispering between each other. If anyone else were attempting to listen in on this, they would be hard pressed to hear anything. But you can roll an awareness test.
Okay. And then I got +1 degree because of natural perception. So that's 3.
Indeed, with your degrees of success, you are able to whisper in, and you can hear one of the men saying, "Yes, the Saint has changed everything. We're going to have to move. Will we be meeting in St. Valerian Shadow?" And you hear the other voice saying, indeed, brother. We will meet there and discuss the furtherance of the plan." And you see the two of them nod, making the sign of the Aquila, and dispersing into the shadow, dispersing each separate ways.
Can I try to shadow one of them?
Indeed, you can.
Will that be a stealth or?
That would be a stealth, yes.
I'm going to use my single fate point.
Ooh. Oh, that actually has a shot of being seen. Let me see.
It does. That's only
3 degrees of success.
4 because I get 2 extra degrees, and then I have unnatural.
Oh yeah, that is true. You get. I forgot to even count that one earlier.
Yep. So that's 4 degrees.
Ooh. Wait, don't you have 3 unnatural agility?
Yeah, but it's half rounded down.
Oh yeah, it specifies rounded down. My bad.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's all good.
All right. So it's technically on a success you gain +3 degrees of success on stealth test.
Yes, because of my natural agility.
Damn. All right. Let's see. Does anyone spot you? No, they do not. So, with that, you are able to shadow one of them. However, he seems to... you can see him, and he is actually going to attempt to blend... he is actually going to attempt to blend in, even though... Oh, wait a minute. I am thinking the talent that they have, I actually need to really quickly check what it does, because I believe it is important here. Let's see. Talents. Where is it? It is... Ah, here it is. Oh, right, okay. So it kinda works here, but I'm still going to roll it. I think this works. So stealth... Wait a minute. I can't use... I'm going to put stealth into other skills because he's supposed to be able to use it against his fellowship.
Okay.
So stealth, fellowship, and he has 1 in it. Alright, there we go. So let's roll it, and no modifier. No, he does not. You're able to keep up with him. So,
fantastic.
Indeed. As you follow the rogue figure, you are able. You can see that he seems to have taken on a group of pilgrims, and appears to be acting as tour guide for the various statues and stasis crypts that are that line the Mausoleum of Remembrance. He seems to be taking his sweet time and is in no rush. He seems to be performing his daily duties.
I'm going to continue to tail him, but since it seems like this is going to take a while at this point, I will fiddle with the comm bead and go, Rosalina.
And I'm still putting down the guns and everything, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna scratch and tap twice on my comm bead really quickly.
There's someone following the saint, but I am following them.
I'm gonna turn away really quickly from the table after setting down Martyred Heart, which is my bolt pistol. And I'm gonna be like, 1 second, I will be right back. And I'm gonna walk over to the corner of the room. What is going on?
A pair of men were discussing a change of plans in regard to your saint. I've pursued one of them, but I think it may be a while before he meets with the rest of them again.
Did he give a specific date or time? And a location?
Just out of character for a second. They didn't, did they, Biggie?
They actually did, and although if someone will probably check tape on this, but I am going to say that you heard one of them say, "Tonight under Saint Valerian's shadow."
Okay, well, Morano's perception is higher than mine, so she would have remembered.
Indeed, she would have heard that, and yeah, right. She relays this information to Rosalina.
Okay. Keep an eye on them, Marno.
I will inform you if anything occurs.
Thank you. And with that, I'm going to switch my microbead over to Tarvok. Tarvok.
And as I get this message, where am I at right now? Like, are we at the room yet?
So, right now, the escort of priests and sisters have reached the chambers that Taya will be staying in for the duration on Ossuar, and they have opened it up. It is a rather Spartan-looking room, about
So
9
there's a
feet.
lot of shade.
Hey, shush. It's about 12 feet by 15 feet, with a bed to one side and a small shrine opposite that, with an ablutions chamber on the opposite side of the room.
That's where you go and blues yourself.
Can you stop?
Sorry, I'll stop.
Okay, good.
Also, what is an ablution chamber?
It's a bathroom.
The heck was I supposed to know that?
I don't know, maybe read some books, maybe? Yeah.
Hey, then my statement still stands. If it's a bathroom, it's where you go and bath. Boom!
But
There's
Yeah.
no bath in there.
Then why
So-
call it a bathroom?
Because I didn't call it that.
y'all done?
Yes.
All right, so Victor, I passed Spheres of Longing to Taya after kind of seeing these Spartan amenities.
Indeed.
And at
And-
this point, the comm would go off and I put my finger to my ear. Yes, Rosalina?
We have a secret group meeting, and I'm saying this over the comm bead so Larissine can also hear it. We have a group meeting at, what was the saint?
The phrase that they used was Saint Valerian's shadow.
Saint Valerian's shadow.
I'll type it into...
Larissine, can you get into position?
Of course I can. I simply need to find where it is.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult seeing how you don't actually know what this location is.
Larisian, find out any and all information about this location.
I shall do so. My only question is, would you like me to go it alone and find out what I can? Perhaps mingle with them? Or relay information to you?
Do both.
Very well.
So, this sounds like an inquiry test. So, Noble, if you're going to go on a fact-finding mission, roll for me an inquiry test.
I'm going to use 2 fate points to boost this because I'm going to need it.
Oh boy.
Huh?
So you get a plus 20 then. Nice. Damn, you didn't actually need to.
I mean,
Yeah, you would have made it either way. Damn. Oh well.
Better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry, indeed. So, what you do find out, and as you ask around, you are able to find out that there is a multitude of locations that could fit this description. However, you're able to recognize that there is a imperial buttload of statues that seem to have been imported from Vux's Prime and onto this planet as they line the streets and the buildings. You realize that you also get to know that Saint Valerian is one of the founding saints of Ascalon's that apparently drove some Xenos beasties away from it and liberated the humans of Ascalon from the alien yoke. This was funnily enough, you find out that most of this apparently happened during the Great Crusade. So lots of info gained about lots of statues that are scattered about, but no info that could directly narrow that down. Outside from the fact, because you got so many degrees of success, which is why I'm rambling on about a bunch of info that you got, you are when you ask further about someone who might know more about these statues and otherwise, you are directed towards a erudite director Klein.
And I...
let me type out hit the whole thing. There you go.
I would make an effort to go and find the man.
All right. With that, you, with your degrees, you asked the direction of this man, and with some walking about, you are able to find him. And as you enter, you see quite the monolithic hall that stretches off to one side, with people quietly moving about and paging through the vellum books that line the shelves. As you look, the room looks closer to a canyon than an actual library. As you look down, you can see that it stretches down into the darkness, as you can see the various levels and balconies that stretch out from it. At the center, but the center of the room catches your attention, where you can see a floating platform with a man attached to the upper side. Although, to say that he is a man is somewhat of an overstatement. He is connected by what appears to be a huge mechadendrite to the ceiling above, and his form moves about as he stretches around, gathering up books as he sets them before him and to read.
And Lorisian would approach him And as he gets within, say, 5 meters, he'd take his hat off. As more of a respectful thing.
Bad hat.
Indeed. Is it a?
Oh.
But is it a? I need Rosalina and Larisian to roll off an opposed test to see who has the better hat.
Which
For D100.
D100.
Ooh, lower is better.
You win this round.
Like to spend a fate point.
Spend a fate point on this.
I mean,
No, don't.
well, in any case, I just needed to see which it was. So, you remove your hat, you said? Your more fabulous hat than Rosalina's. And,
Oh.
What? What?
Continue.
Yes, go ahead, Noble.
He'll approach, walking with his cane, which he usually just keeps at his side, but yeah, he's walking with it now. I would assume you are erudite Rector Klein? Yeah? With
a stiff mechanical motion, the man, in quotation mark, raises his head and says, "Yes, I am erudite Director Klein. May I assist?"
And at that, Larissa is going to go, what kind of facial expression? For just a split moment, trying to figure out what he just said. But then, yeah. Well, good afternoon, my fine erudite director. I have
Please dispense with the formalities. I am a very busy man.
Very well then, Clive. I would ask of you a knowledge of, or a rather hard-to-find location.
At this, he seems to perk up with a mechanical jerk of his body and says, "Hard to find knowledge, you say? I specialize in that. You came to the right place."
Well, then I'm glad to hear. Would you know of a location known as St. Valerian Shadow?
You see him. You see one of his mechanical arms tapping on his chin as he says, St. Valerian Shadow, St. Valerian Shadow. At this, could you describe... Could you give further context to this query? It seems to lack context.
Well, from what I understand, it's a location with many statues imported from elves.
Vux's Prime was what I said.
Imported from Vux's Prime.
Indeed. At this, the ceiling-mounted rig jerks erudite Director Klein away from his platform as he seems to almost fly about the canyon as he picks off books from the various shelves and comes flying back with them towards his platform. Go ahead.
As he's doing that, Lurs's just going to kind of watch him. I swear if Harvok ever does anything like this, I'm going to start calling him a bird.
So, a few moments later, the erudite director is returned back to his platform with a pile of books, and he starts skimming through them very quickly as he starts setting them up all around. A statuary from Vux's Prime, you said. Let me see. Collating. There are 46 statues within of St. Valerian within 1 kilometer radius of this location. Does this help narrow it down?
Relatively, yes, actually.
Indeed. Let's see if we can narrow it further. There is a shadow you spoke of. let's see. Is there any solar imagery that has been ever used on the Wuxian Prime statue? As he sends the pages of the books into a flurry, he engages in a manic activity of turning pages before stopping and going, "Aha! Here we go. There is a singular statue within the ossuary within Ossuar's crypt. That would be the lower levels, and which has Saint Valerian holding the sun in his hand as he conquered the system. This might be what you're looking for."
Perhaps it is. I thank you much for your assistance, Clyde.
You see a printout of a scroll printout from above his head, which he then rips from the printer with his mechanical arm and hovers very close in front of you, holding the mechanical arm and the scroll in front of you. This is the coordinates of Saint Valerian's sun. If it is what you're looking for, you will find it here.
Also, here's the bell.
I was actually about to ask about that. And do you
Roll
require
trade bureaucrat.
compensation?
What was? Sorry, say it again, Noble.
Do you require compensation for your aid again?
No, I must say you provided a rather entertaining distraction. I am always on the. I take pleasure from finding obscure knowledge, and you have provided me with a small respite from my daily drudge.
Well, then I am very happy that I could be of an assistance in your drone life. I wish you nothing but the best, Clyde. You'll bow slightly and take the scroll.
He hovers back and makes a shoe gesture with his mechanical arm and says, Yes, I must get back to work now."
Very well. And yeah, I'll head out of there, and as I'm doing that, Lewis is just going to kind of key his bot. Well, I believe I may have found the location with some help from a particularly boom-mounted, I don't know what. It would appear to be a statue of Saint Valerian holding a sun. The individual who assisted me referred to it as simply Saint Valerian's son. I have the coordinates with me. If
Sorry
you-
about that.
Okay.
Just moving
you would-
the scene.
If you would like, I can make an effort to move there and infiltrate. Twitch mask has been repaired enough, thanks to no R2 Tarlock. And he'll give a slight nod to the air, as if he was speaking to Tarlock in person. And I can make an endeavor to infiltrate them, or we can all move together and bed the proverbial snake.
And with that, I'm assuming I'm back at the table watching the woman work. I'm gonna go back on the microbead. Try to infiltrate the area.
I shall do
Well,
such.
actually, I'm just gonna say, take a look at the area, make sure it's safe, and bring her with you.
Her as in your...
Yes.
I see.
Take comfort in it. I'm gonna tab over to Marno. Oh wait, first I'm gonna ask Larician his exact coordinates.
He would transmit them. Or say them, at least. Decide not transmit.
Then I'm gonna switch over to Marno. I need you to go to these coordinates, meet up with this person.
She knows Larician.
Okay. I need you to go to these coordinates and meet up with Larician.
Mope?
Yep, I will respond and say that understood. I'm on my way.
This is me exposed. But I'm with a canoness, so I shouldn't require much more protection than this. And then I'm gonna... does Marno actually respond to that at all?
Yeah, I would say that, don't you have the other one with you?
Yes. I should be fine. Go and watch over his back. He's a bit of, well, you'll see.
I should be there shortly. I'm still with the previous one. Referring to the guy I was shot at.
Right. Of course. So, as you break off your shadowing to meet up with Lorisian, we slam cut over to Tarvok. What is he doing currently?
Just keeping an eye on Taya, trying to get a hold of any information, hoping like a tech priest will pass by or something. I mean, he's actually quite bored right now.
Right. As you do some, a group of 3 sisters approach the room, and the one in front is without her helmet. Her black hair seems to be her black hair is cut short, not the bowl cut. Think Faith and Fire Lady.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Also, as they kind of walk out, I'm just going to turn, for no reason, just going to turn on my Aether Scope just to check.
Make the deck use. Right. Oh yeah, there you go.
Add the
Yes.
bonuses, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think you add the bonuses with the combi tool.
No, but I have bonuses because of my implants.
Oh, right. You actually, do you get plus 20 for tech use? I thought it was lore and logic.
That might be. I'll double check.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. But you made it either way, but I just wanted to make sure. So, with a quick scan of the Ethereoscope, you see something. It's not psychic energy. There's something radiating off these sisters. It actually seems pretty similar to what you found on Taya.
Can I just flip through my different optics, like thermal, electro, just to see if there's anything abnormal?
As you do, there is nothing. No, there is indeed nothing abnormal about these sisters. It's just that slight glow that you pick up on the Ethereoscope.
Have I noticed the glow on Rosalina as well?
No.
With that, he will bow and say, "Good day, sisters."
Tech Priest, we have been sent here to escort the saint to her discernment of spirits.
Archfavagator, please. And okay, so Victor, this is something I gotta ask. Okay. When the way she said saint, was that intentional, or like, did I pick up on that?
That was in fact intentional, and if you did pick up on it, you can just use that.
Okay, I'm making sure I'm not like picking on someone with an accent. And I say, "You're unsure, aren't you?"
That is the purpose of the discernment of spirits. The cardinals and archbishops shall determine whether she will be canonized or not.
And would it assist her if evidence was brought forth of such divine power?
If evidence is requested, it will be sent for.
Then I shall accompany her.
You will, before she replies saying, "You will be allowed to stand outside the outside the communion chamber, but until it has been, but until such a time, or until until your presence is requested, the saint will meet only and only with the questioners.
With that, he nods, and just to make sure he still got it, he inside of his his bionic eye, he does play the footage of the resurrection, just to make sure it's non-corrupted, and tries to edit out certain visuals.
Right. Blurring out things the man was not meant to know.
Yes.
Right. So, as you do, I'm guessing, oh yeah, the sisters open up the door and summon Taya. She has taken off her power armor at this point. Seeing, well...
Damn it, Taya, just keep your damn power armor on.
She doesn't like keeping the power armor on all the time. Besides, there are sisters everywhere.
And Tarvok.
And Tarvok.
Yeah, and she's not in power armor.
No, she's not. Because
clearly it's the fashion choice of this world.
Well, yeah, but she's a peasant girl.
Not anymore.
Well, that is to be decided, isn't it?
Look, man, I have the Reckoning on VHS right now. If this doesn't get her canonized, I don't know what will.
Well, there are of course theological debates to be had and all that stuff, but you know all
Jesus.
that.
Yeah, good Lord, this is worse than the Administratum.
Yeah. Good luck.
Look, these guys aren't going to out-bureaucrat me.
We'll see.
Oh, hell no. Anyway, Tarvok will follow Taya, this time being staying a lot closer to her, looming over her like a shadow, like a second shadow.
Indeed.
Due to her more exposed nature.
Taya has been gifted with a freshly cleaned white robe, which she wears hood down.
Does she at least have her scythe?
She has her scythe.
Okay, good.
She seems to be, she has to heft it about a bit because, well, it is heavy and it's meant for power armor users, but she does use it as more of a walking stick.
Highly advanced, super unique piece of war gear, not even produced for Space Marines anymore. Some peasant uses it as a walking stick.
To be fair, the lore behind power size is that the Imperium used to make them until M34. So they're not exactly heretical or anything like that. It's just they stopped making them.
Yeah, have you seen eBay? Out of production crap goes for a ton.
Yeah,
but anyway,
so with that, the trio of sisters and Tarvok escort the supposed saint towards... No. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm asking, I want to try to slip a rat in there with her, so I can physically observe the theological debates, and also to make sure that nobody is trying to hurt her, because unfortunately, dogmatic loyalty inclines that I have to protect her at all costs.
All right, rat number 2 deployed, and the rat is following you in the shadows.
In the shadows.
So, as you arrived to a great set of wooden door cut with imagery of saints and primarchs, the two great doors slowly swing open, not to their full extent, but enough to let the three of you through. And on the other side, you can see a oval audience hall, shall we say, which seems to have a oval audience hall with tiered seats to the sides, giving the room a strange gladiatorial arena feel. And you see that Taya seems highly nervous at this point, but she seems to be trying to put on a brave face. With that, as the trio of sisters and Taya move forward, she gives you a quick look. She looks quickly behind her and gives Tarvok a slight nod before walking in.
And just to be that guy, I'm going to give her the cog of the Omnisaya.
Indeed. She gives you the half sign of the Aquila. The one-handed version, that is.
Of course.
And you can see with your normal senses, localized senses, that the door is slowly moved back into position, and they thunk back closed with an echoing, ominous sound.
And I'm guessing there are guards posted at the door.
Indeed, there are. In fact, there are not sisters stationed outside these doors. You see two heavily armored, robed men with power shields and power swords stand.
Crusaders.
Indeed.
That's not a power shield. That's a storm shield.
Fine storm shield.
It's better.
Storm shields and power swords. I know. It's actually +1 better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At this point, Tarvok will begin. He will go on the comms and say, "Rosalind, and this is Tarvok.
Go ahead.
The communion for the canonization of Taya has begun. I have eyes inside just in case, and I am currently standing vigil over the doorway."
Good. The other two are in position, I hope.
Indeed, but Rosalind, I have a question.
Yes.
Should her divinity come into question to a extreme extent, do I have your permission to unveil the recording of the events that transpired on the Oath and Spoke?
Yes, and if that doesn't work, do everything in your power to bring her with us. If she is not made a saint.
Of course. I will do as you ask, as is my charge. And with that, I'm actually going to reach into my pocket and pull out an Emperor's Tarot card.
Hold on.
Here we go, Emperor's Tarot.
I need my Emperor's Tarot deck.
That thing that Rosalina should use.
Yeah,
I've been trying to give it to you for 4 seasons now.
Let me see. Shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. And let's see. Deck has been shuffled on the table. Drawn. Yeah, that would be number 8 of the major arcana, the Saint of Righteousness, Harmony, Righteousness and Harmony, and it was drawn facing up.
I'll be damned if that isn't divine actual portents. I don't know what is.
Yeah, and no malign portents here.
The Emperor protects.
And with that, Tarvok will smile, and then he will kind of slam his axe hilt into the floor, and with one of his, have his senses on, kind of outward what is it called? Auspex on, but also with his bionic eye will be watching the processions.
Indeed. As you periodically check through the eyes of your scout vermin, you can see that there seems to be an awful lot of time taken to recite the names and titles of the various holy men that are going to be attending this discernment of spirits. They have been going on for 20 minutes now with no end in sight.
Victor, do I need to roll bureaucracy or ecclesi? Like, how can I get a idea of how long? Like, are we talking centuries, days, hours.
Roll for me a scholastic lore ecclesiarchy. Oof.
But don't forget, I get a bunch of bonuses because of my natural intelligence and all that.
That is true. You currently are working with 3 degrees of success?
I mean, that's about average.
Yeah. So, you recognize that you parse over the little info that you have about the ecclesiarchy, which is not the prime focus of your data core, and you recognize that the canonization of saints is notoriously slow and can take all the way from a few days up to weeks.
All right, now Victor, what do I need to roll if I can figure out a way to expedite the process, like through? Is there a record that in which a canonization took much sooner?
With those degrees of success, no, you are unaware of any such process, I should say.
So I couldn't like try to replace it with bureaucrat.
You can try and roll it, see if you can make. Ooh, that is a lot. Well, the problem with the bureaucratic nature of the ecclesiarchy is that these men take their rites and rituals very seriously, and attempting to disrupt any of that could lead to some form of outrage or a diplomatic incident.
Well, I'm not
Shall
talking
we
about
say?
I'm not like talking like busting in. I object. I'm talking about like if she was able to show like divine power then and there, stuff like that.
Well, the problem with that is that she would have to be in mortal danger to do that. Based on what little info you know about saints and seeing, and I'm going to say that you took a tiny bit of time to research the matter, and based on what you have found so far, it's that most saints don't actively control their powers. It is something that manifests when they need it the most.
Also, Victor, I'll have you know, Tarvox had a lingering interest in saints and Saint Tobias.
Ha, indeed. That is true.
Don't come at me with that. But anyway, so pretty much what you're saying is I'm going to be sitting here. I need to probably prepare some snacks and some recap.
Well, unless something else comes up, this is probably going to take a while, and Taya seems to be heavily guarded in the meantime.
All right. Well, boss lady's orders. I prepare a cup of recap.
Alrighty. So.
And we'll ask. But actually, I will put out a ping. Is there any I want to put out a ping for any nearby gentlemen from the Cult Mechanicus?
Indeed. As you put out a ping, you are met with a counter ping that and you get the ident marker. There we go. I'm messing up my Mechanicus jargon. The ident code of a lowly engine seer that seems to have taken interest in the mechanical marvel that is standing before the communion hall.
He's checking me out. Oh, can I go find this gentleman? I want to talk.
Yes. So you are able to clue in on the noosphere of the location of this individual, and it seems to be located at the behind some of the columns near the back of the entrance hall.
And at this point, I look.
What's so funny?
What Chad wrote.
I don't know what piccolo means. Piccolo? What is that?
Piccolo.
Piccolo?
Social activity. But no, she got it. Now
That's
as
good.
I kind of walk over to this individual. How big is he?
How
Obviously
big?
not as big. Like how augmented are we talking about?
Well, as you approach and get a visual on this individual, you can see that
He or she, I guess.
it appears to be, well, it seems to be a tech priestess. And
How are you
well,
doing this, Adam?
she stands at about roughly 5'6", and her black hair seems to be her black hair is close cropped to her scalp. She has a single bionic eye and a bionic arm on her left, where her left arm is. She makes the cog of the Messiah and nods her head.
Identify yourself, as he kind of throws up the sign as well.
I am Lex Mechanic Kali.
At this, it kind of clicks Lex Mechanos. And he says, Archfabricator Tarvok. I was a Lex adept myself at one point.
At this point, she bows and says, I am honored to meet such a highly ranked member of the Mechanicus. Although I was wondering what brings such an esteemed figure like yourself here.
With that, he says, I have been tasked with arming the Saint Candidate. Is that the proper term? Was that the proper term we'll be using here?
I've been using supposed saint, but that doesn't feel very
confident.
That doesn't feel very confident. No, let's go with saint candidate. That sounds about right.
Yeah,
that sounds like detached enough for Mechanicus members
neutral
to use. Yeah.
And with that, he says, I've been traveling with this Saint Candidate, making sure that her appearance and war gear is that in which they sing songs about, to bring glory to the Omnissiah.
So it is true then. There is a new supposed anomaly here.
Indeed there is. Has there been a lot of chatter about it?
Yes. You know how it is. If word travels fast, then the newest fear is even faster.
Indeed. I must say, what brings a Lex mechanic over to this part of the communion chambers?
I was on my way back to my HAB unit. My duties for the day are done, but I saw you and the ones you were escorting, and I was curious.
Damn. I tried. No, that was just a joke, but with that, Tarbok will say, and what were your duties for the day?
Oh, it was merely the archival in I was merely assisting in the archival of new records for the interment of holy men from Thauer. Erudite Director Klein is very particular how he wants his I'm blanking on. In Fallout 3, there's a quest you do for Moira Brown in the Arlington Library. You pick up a thing for her, and I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Okay, first of all, Moira Brown was the chick from Megaton, first of all.
I know, but she sends you to the Arlington Library where you find a bunch of Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. I don't remember that quest at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You get something from the library, which is the index for all the book, but it's not called index. Let's see.
You could call it the Codex.
I could call it the codex. Actually, let's just call it the index. Why not? Erudite Director Klein is very particular about how he wants his archive indexed.
Yes,
The
because I think
card catalog?
Thank you, card catalog. That's what I was thinking of. That's a way to index books in the library and to find them quickly. There we go. Whew. I knew I wasn't crazy. Yes.
anyway.
So, oh yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, she was explaining the nature of Klein's work.
Sour. I've been there. Interesting place indeed.
Really? There's a lot of odd mementos that come with the burials for the dead. That is, well, one of the issues of catalog that must be archived with the rest of them, not just not just who they are, but what is being interred with them. And there is an alarming number of ossuary material. That would be bones.
I know. And with that, you'll hear like a kind of a low hawks, like, I guess around his like right armpit.
Mm-hmm.
He prints out a travel Stethour.
Ooh, nice.
And
He has a
offers them.
printer in his armpit. That's so good.
Look, I only have so much space.
Yeah, you gotta start stuffing that everywhere.
Yeah, I make. But anyway, he will offer them to her.
Is night cutting out for anyone but me?
Coming in clear for me.
He's
Okay.
clear for me.
Okay, and it's just I did hear what you said, but it was slightly choppy. So yes, she takes the babe, your fan being picked up. All right, there we go. She takes the printout from Tarvok and starts reading through it at an alarming speed, and says, I'm going to read this tonight. It sounds quite fascinating.
I will also pull out the book because I actually have some lore on Thaur. I'll also take out some books from my utility mechadendrite. Will remove a tome from the bookcase and offer it.
She takes it gladly, and you actually see her bouncing slightly on her feet.
Trust me, I used to work on a research station. I know what it's like to not have all the information you need on projects.
Of course, and this will bring this will only bring us closer to the Omnissiah.
Indeed, it will. And as I kind of look at her, what is your age, Lex Mechanic?
I am 23, Terran Standard.
As he kind of mumbles, same age as Lariah. And as he's kind of like looks over her, he said, if you'd like, I would request your company. I'm forced to stay here for a while. Perhaps we could swap notes and discuss more prevalent the wonders of this interesting galaxy, as he kind of motions to his vast collection behind.
I have my duties, of course, but I'm sure that once I'm off, I can.
Victor, you literally
yes?
just said she was heading back to her Hab Center.
Well, yeah, but she's going there to. Well, she's just done working. She's. Actually, I didn't I? I was wondering how late it was, and it's actually not that late. So, yeah, she agrees to walk beside you, retconning slightly.
That's fine. We're just gonna kind of stay in the lobby and maybe, and he will say, "Let's see," and he will start pulling out books, and he'll say, who's the head of the Cult Mechanicus sect in this on this planet?"
Oh, that would be head. That would be head engine seer Lazarus.
Hmm.
There is
And I,
there is no forge here, so a higher rank was not needed. It is more an impromptu title than anything else.
and how have the sisters, has the the Ministorum treated you fairly as per the accords of Red
Yes,
Sand?
they have. They mostly leave us alone,
Am I
and
allowed to bring that up?
I think you are. I
Okay.
don't think it's actually a secret.
Yeah, but the whole Magma City incident kind of got me worried about that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You're both tech priests.
We're all tech freaks now.
We're all tech priests now. So
But
the difference it's kind of like the what's the sister deal, the Ecclesia Ministorum deal that can only use sister. I'm blanking.
Wow, so am I.
Wow, this is rough. Holy crap! I'm looking this up. I am mad now. It is in the Enemies Within book, and I know exactly where it is. It is called the Decree Passive. I am mad.
No, you're passive.
No,
Yes.
I'm Decree Mad.
passive aggressive.
Yeah, I'm
But
passive. We're all a passive aggressive now.
Okay, but I just wanted to make sure I can bring up the Accord of Red Sand.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so, I see. And has there been any works projects of note lately?
No, there's always new statuary coming in from Vux's Prime, but we mostly handle the maintenance of the stasis crypt.
I'm not familiar. What is down in the Stasis Crypt?
Oh, it's the remains of saints.
Oh, fair enough. And Tarvik kind of makes a note of that because John's assumption was Tower was just the place.
Apparently not. This seems to be, actually, do you actually just say that so I can say it in character?
Fair enough. He looks at that and says, "Interesting. I thought Thawa was the only burial place for saints in this sector."
Oh, no, it's just the most popular, but the actually, I need some info because there was a dude that that said a thing, which is, oh yes, you can see her thinking to herself, but as she pulls up information from her data code, and she says, "Ah yes, millennia ago, it was Lord Commander Valon Cordius who decreed that Ossuar would be the final resting place for the greatest heroes to meet their end during the dark days of the..." And at this point, she pauses, saying, "the Great Schism." The decree, so he said, was based on a vision granted by the Emperor himself. Many decades later, Saint Cordius would be laid to rest here on Ossuar. In the following centuries, this world was entrusted to the nascent Ministorum, which turned the planet's already considerable resources towards the task of honoring the Emperor and the earliest Ascalian saints. She seems to be quickly reading off info that she has.
I'm downloading it.
Indeed.
Victor, what can you tell me about that saint? I'm guessing this is good. This is good. That didn't add the plus 40, but I'm guessing that's the Great Schism.
Yes, that is indeed the Horus Heresy.
So what can you tell me about Saint Vestalia?
Saint Cordius, you mean?
Saint-
Indeed.
What?
Oh, he was a Imperial Army general.
Hmm. And actually, at this point, Tarvik kind of has a spark of realization and checks the Aether Scope once more because in his mind, he's like, wait a minute, this is not the first time he's ended up on a Shrine World. Like, he's trying to look for any kind of similarity. He's checking for like any kind of symbols or anything in the area that might lead to a conclusion of a Halbrel-esque attempt.
Right, so roll an awareness then.
Like he's checking like everything's. He's every piece of information gathering gear he has.
Right, of course.
Like a plus 20?
Yes, plus 20.
Nice.
Ooh, good. You actually say again what you were looking for?
Any kind of anything that would lead him to believe that there was any kind of something. He's looking for the everything is a factor ordeal. Like, is there a group of guys dressed differently? Are some guys huddled up somewhere? Or is something not right in the air? He's looking for anything that might
Right.
lead him to believe
anything would be out of place.
Yes.
Currently, where you are standing, no. As you cycle through every visual spectra that you have access to and any sensory apparatus at your disposal, you find that, sure, the air in here is a bit more laced with incense than goes normally, but aside from that, it's rather normal.
And has my first Storm Vermin reported back with anything, as he's kind of been in passive, like, roam and collect data mode?
The first one or the one you dropped later? Yeah. The second one, well...
Not the one in the room, the one I just deployed while we were walking.
Right. The first one seems to have found some kind of kitchen area and seems to be gnawing on some food.
I will administer a light shock to get him back to work.
Indeed. With a quick jolt of motive force, the scout vermin is sent back on its trail.
Indeed. And with that, Tarvok will just continue enjoying the company of... did I get her name?
You did. Let me type it out.
Because I feel like if I can... And I'm going to start talking to her about, just as we kind of fade off, he's going to start talking to her about maybe getting a deal of sending stuff from Disolium to here in exchange for, like, knowledge.
That's a rough deal, but she nods and says that something might be arranged. She actually mentioned that Erudite Rector Klein might actually be fascinated to talk with you.
Yeah, you know what? We'll go. How far away is he?
He is quite far away. It would be some time walking.
Indeed.
I feel like you just posted a meme, babe.
But Tarvok, we'll smidge over there, but Tarvok will send a message. So, Rosalina, it seems like everything is secure now. Do you mind if I go speak with the Erudite Rector for more information on the planet?
Alexis?
Whoops, sorry, I was on mute.
Ah.
At this moment, I want you to stay close to the saint until the... what would it be called?
The Discernment of Spirits?
Till the Discernment of Spirits is finished.
That can take days, if not weeks. So, do you want Tarvok to be out of action for days or weeks?
Fine. Take leave for a few hours, but return regularly.
And with that, I will deploy Storm Vermin number 3 to keep an eye out on the front.
Fair enough.
Nothing will escape my eye, and let's be honest, if something happens, I can get there in time.
That is true. So,
Larician, has Marno made it to your location yet?
Well, hold on. Would she have?
Give me like 20 seconds and she'll be there.
Okay.
As she's just
Well,
sitting there behind him the entire time. Hey, you're really bad
yeah.
at stealth.
Any case, as Tarvok cycles one final time through his scout vermin, he can see that it has reached Archcardinal Bavaris Consag and his multitude of titles as he stands before the saint. But again, this seems to be dragging on to an interminable length, and he walks off with Kali. Moving back to Larician, who is currently standing in the shadow of a great column that has been imbued with frescoes of... actually, it's been imbued with a fresco of Rogel Dorn.
Nice.
I wish I had any manner of identifying that.
Yeah, if only, if only.
Um,
Then again, that's what happens when you don't pay attention in Skolum.
yeah. Yeah. But
So,
anyway.
I need Morino and Larician to each roll an awareness and a stealth test. I need to see who sneaks up on who.
Then I'll roll my awareness. And it would be safe to say that he has his Auspex out.
You can say that, yes.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh well.
Mope. Let's see your rolls. Ooh, you actually barely make it against him, but do you spot him? Ooh, okay. So this is a wonky look. This is going to be a wonky reading. So Larician is hiding better, but Morino wins when it comes to the awareness test. So both of you are completely unseen. However, as Larician is looking about, as he looks about and as he looks about the room, he sees Morino seemingly out of nowhere, leaning up against the wall that he is leaning up against, right next to him.
Upon seeing her, he'll kind of just raise his eyebrows at her as more of a gesture.
I'll smile at you and then bring a single finger to my lips.
That Larician will say in a really quiet tone into the Vox. It would appear that she's here, yes?
Good. Proceed with your mission.
Very well. Would it have been safe to say, like, could I make a roll say that prior to this I would have been able to secure robes like what the guys around here wear?
Right, you want to steal some stuff. Roll a stealth and actually roll for me a sleight of hand, because I know you are probably going to make the stealth test. So this is going to be a combined test of sleight of hand and stealth. If you make the sleight of hand, you make the stealth.
You know, that's really rough for me. I don't have sleight of hand for some reason.
You should probably get it, even though you just made it.
Huh.
See? And had you used the 19 on your stealth, you would have made it just fine. So,
Yeah.
Yes, you do indeed have those, so do with them as you please.
Alright. I'm just gonna say that he has them on right now and would have stowed his normal attire elsewhere or has it under the robe. I don't know.
It could actually act as a fake chubby stomach.
But yeah. He'll kind of just look over to Morano again. Well, this is the location in which my And he's just gonna kind of pause for a moment, kind of just look blankly for a second. Informant? I guess you could call him. Said would be a more secluded meeting location by the name of
Actually,
Saint Valerian's.
let me move this
Shadow.
here, because technically you're supposed to be in here.
Where is the guy who I was shadowing?
You broke off shadowing him to meet with Larisian.
Okay.
You suppose that he is still doing his thing. So, in the Ossuar, in Ossuar's crypt levels, you find that the shadows have grown darker, and the light of Ossuar's sun has been replaced by braziers lit high. Though the picture doesn't show it, there is one of those statues up there, which seems to have, which seems to display a heroic figure holding his hand, holding one of his hands up with a beaming sun in his hand, and what appears to be a elegant sword in the other. I need both of you to roll a -10 awareness test. Stop doing that. Babe, you're messing with the scenery. Ooh, nice.
I think that's flavor.
Babe. Woo!
Oh!
Dude,
Don't delete it. I worked hard on that.
I'm not deleting it. I'm just spinning him around, is all. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So, as the two of you inspect the statue of Saint Valerian, you can see that behind it there appears to be a slight cavity that is not mimicked by the other statues. And as Morino looks closer, she can see that on the column that holds up the statue, there appears to be handholds that can be used to ascend.
So wait, there's a gap, and I can see inside that there are handholds.
On the side of the column that holds up the statue, there are handholds which lead up to a empty space behind the statue.
Okay, well, I'm going to look over at Larisian, make a motion to get his attention, point at the ladder, and then start heading off toward.
He would nod and hang a little ways back just to be more of a rear watch until she was up.
Right.
Hey, you better not be watching her rear. That's mine.
Ah. Heyo. So, as Larisian is waiting and keeping an eye out, a singular eye out, heyo, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching. Actually, you hear the sound of sandaled footsteps approaching. And as you peek out, hold on, what am I trying to say here? As you peek out from the column that you're standing by, there we go, whew, that should not have been that difficult. You see what appears to be a robed priest, his hood worn down, and he seems to be holding a pile of scrolls in his hands. However, given the current trajectory, he will see you unless you make a move.
Yeah,
I mean-
so... Well,
Go
Are
ahead,
there-
Sorry.
are there alcoves and stuff, like, behind the statues? Like, because I'm assuming there would be, like, little divots where the statues are in.
as you look around, you do indeed see a statue on ground level where you might be able to hide. So
Okay.
roll for
Yeah.
me a stealth test, but you don't get the plus 20 this time because you're technically disguised.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. You'll have to roll really well. No, he rolls horribly.
Yeah. Also, as a precaution, could I activate my Twitch mask and kind of just get it to look like a like a mix of just to be the most average Joe looking person
Right.
from what I've seen of the people that live here.
Yes, you can give yourself a... Yeah, you can give yourself a rather... actually, you give yourself an aquiline nose, and your cheeks are now covered in acne scar.
Oh boy.
It actually blends you in quite nicely.
Very well.
So, as you hide behind the statue, you see the robed figure with the scrolls walk by. He actually stops for a quick second, and you hear him sneezing before he wipes his nose on the sleeve on the hem of his robe. No, the sleeve of his robe. There we go. Whew.
Gesundheit. No.
That would have been funny, but I'm going to say that's out of character.
Of course it is.
Oh, and he walks off as you can hear the echoing sandaled footsteps dying out as he moves past.
I wasn't spotted, was I?
No, you were not. This was just against Lurisian.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, once he's gone, Lurisian will see if Marino is up. And yeah.
And indeed, she is. He can see her. He can see her poking out from the ledge above.
Then he will go up as well.
Indeed. So, as you ascend the handholds on the side of the column, you can see that Morino has moved slightly behind the statue and is inspecting what appears to be a tunnel, what appears to be a dark tunnel leading from behind the statue.
Could I see anything in there? Because I have the...
You do have the photo contacts, yes. As your photo contacts adjust to the darkness, you can see that the tunnel leads on for some distance before disappearing into a bend. Actually, does Morino have dark sight?
I don't think so.
No, she does not. Interesting. I guess Eldar don't have dark sight.
Yeah, and the long rifle doesn't have anything that, like, I could look through this. You would think, right? But I don't see it.
No, I don't see it either. Well...
Dukari have always had dark sight, but never Asanari or Eldari.
Go figure. I guess
blind fighting.
That is true. You can technically fight in the darkness, you just can't see anything.
Oh.
Does either of you actually have... Noble, do you actually have any, like, lighting equipment?
I think I might have a glow globe. Maybe. I would be surprised if I didn't.
I really hope you do.
Oh. Yeah, no, I have
Nope.
nothing because I would rely on... Yeah, because I always relied on my photo.
Yeah, he relied on his dark sight, so he didn't actually need it.
Well, take Morno's hand and guide her through.
Well...
Oh yeah, just a quick thing. Vicky, I'm going to say that when he did the Twitch mask thing, he made himself look old. Because there's a voice I want to use that I don't often get the chance.
Fair, that is completely fair enough. Morino, you actually, you see a old haggard-looking man ascend from behind you, and you realize that it is Lurisian, but his face seems to have changed drastically.
I'll raise an eyebrow at him and ask, did something happen?
Yeah, Bishop. I don't know what happened. I lost myself. And then he's just gonna crack his usual smile.
Indeed.
And
You
before
you recognize the smile, you recognize the dumb grin belonging to Larisian, and even though his face has changed, the person beneath it most certainly has not.
I'm going to give him a queer look before turning to look down the hallway.
queer indeed. Anyway.
I meant it as in strange.
I
I
know.
I know as well.
It's just a good use of words.
And then he'll make a show of peering down the whole thing.
Yes,
I know Sean for ways. He's gonna.
I'll look at him. I'll look him up and down, continuing to look at him with my odd look. Why don't you take the lead?
Very well. Do you need me? Wait, can you not see down there?
It's quite dark.
And then you're going to see him just smile again and hold his hand out for you to take. Then come along, Gary.
I'll just blink at you a few times and take your hand and slowly follow you as you go down the hall.
Moreno thinks to herself that Rosalina did in fact warn that Larisian was a handful, but such is life.
By the way, his comm beat is on so people can hear that.
That is true. Although, hold on, I actually need to roll some dice for your disguise test.
Oh, yeah. It's a thing of stealth, isn't it?
It is deceive.
Deceive? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
So, could you roll for me, what's it called? Roll for me a deceive test because I want to see the target.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a 40. All right, I will keep this here to the side to check, so that I can check against it in future if anyone sees you.
Okay.
All right, so as Larisian, old man Larisian, leads Moreno down the dark and dank tunnel. Actually, it's probably not that dank. This place is pretty dry because, all the dead bodies and all that. As she leads Larisian down the dark tunnel, you find that you reach a few circular staircases where you ascend up, and before you know it, you arrive in what appears to be a circular chamber with a raised platform in the center that seems to be polished silver.
I want to do
I'm
it.
gonna look around to make sure that there's no one else here. Is it still dark?
It is still dark in here. However, you do note that there is a circular hole right above the hole in the ceiling right above the platform where the last remaining light of Ossuar's day is peering slightly through.
What kind of penalty would that be to an awareness check?
Probably a -10.
I'm going to also do awareness.
Yes, you are not afflicted by the lack of sunlight.
I am afflicted by a lack of awareness. I'm going to...
Don't bother, Moreno made it.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, so in that case, As Morino looks around, you see that this room seems to be very threadbare. Its walls, in the past, probably contained some kind of imagery on them, but it has long faded. You see on the floor there is dust gathered in the corners of the no, not in the corners, the circular room, around the edges of the room where the wall meets where the floor meets the wall. However, near the raised silver surface of the center, you can see that there's the slight hint of dust being disturbed and what you can barely recognize as quote unquote footsteps. You can see that robes have moved and dragged about.
It's some sort of meeting place.
Meeting place for whom exactly? High bishops or perhaps some manner of ne'er-do-well?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna look him up and down again and just like give him the most like confused and like almost like just kind of taken aback from him at this point and be like, well, whoever it is, we should stay and wait and observe.
Oh, well, of course. And he's just gonna kind of squint around really quickly, just taking the room in real quick.
Indeed. You note that there are very few hiding places in this room, and if you were to wait in here, you would be hard pressed to stay hidden if anyone else were to enter.
What about the ceiling? What does the ceiling look like?
The ceiling does indeed have some arched buttresses holding up holding up the ceiling where the circular hole is.
And he's gonna, upon noticing, he's gonna kind of point up to them. Maybe you could shit up there. And he's gonna kind of reach into his right sleeve, and you're gonna see him fiddling something, like he's undoing the latches on, like, yeah. And
I'll just head up to the buttress then when you say, now that you point
Oh.
it out.
ooh, yeah. Well, he'll hand you his he'll hand you a really really cut down grapnel and
I don't know if I'd even need it. I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna look at it kind of awkwardly and hold it funkily, and then say, thank you. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get up to the buttress.
and then he'll just smile. You're very welcome. And then he'll give you just a very wide grin shake of his head.
I'm gonna give you a look that you can't tell if it's I'm weirded out or if I'm concerned.
So,
And then I'm gonna make an acrobatics check to jump up there.
alrighty, are you going to use the grapnel line?
What would the penalty be if I say no?
No penalty, just no bonus.
Okay, I make it.
Yeah. And as Larisian, you note that Morino seems to be able to grab onto the stone of the wall, where you would think there was no grip, but you see her scaling up like a warp spider of the webway, although that is in Morino's mind rather than yours. As she is able to leap up the rest of the way and catch onto the buttress. And you note in the in Morino's movement, it's almost if her body weighs, well, nothing at all in the way she moves, at least.
As he watches her ascend, he's just gonna kind of wiggle his jaw, like, and make it click really quickly. Like a goat. What was it called? Yeah, it was like a goat swell.
Morino, are you gonna throw the grapnel line back down to him?
No, I mean he gave it to me. It'd be rude to deny.
True.
I think like
I
she would consider that the proper Monkai etiquette.
True. I keep forgetting that Morino has, well, she has some culture shock yet to go through. So, would you like to attempt your acrobatics test, Larisian?
Who said he's going up there?
Are you just gonna wait down there?
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So, we're going to time skip right now, or some of the others can take slight scenes before we do.
Well, I mean, Rosalina is just getting her weapons worked on. Once they're finished, she's heading to the hospitaler.
Oh yeah, that's true. We still have to handle that one. That's true. So, while Sister Lysandra works on the weapons, let's see. The Canoness leads Inquisitor, not Inquisitor, but you know what I mean, Lockwood, further down the hallways of the mausoleum, and before you reach what appears to be a medical wing, though to call it such is a bit of an overstatement, as it would be better to call it a large hall with beds lined up against the walls.
And as we start passing them, I'm going to look at the Canoness. Does this planet see much action?
No, it does not. Ours is to guard against, well, if we were to see action, it would be off-planet. Here, we mostly have to deal with pilgrim riot.
Seems like a lesser task for a sister at battle, but a task nonetheless.
All tasks are equally holy in the eyes of the Emperor.
Yes, but even you must be bored of this.
I shall not say.
I'm gonna roll scrutiny on that.
Let me see. I'm gonna roll against it. Where did I put her sheet? Not it. Here we go. She... Wow, she doesn't even have deceive. She does make it, but not by enough degrees. So, you are able to see... Oh, excuse me. I think I'm getting acid. Oh,
That apparently Victor is dying.
no, it just hurts to speak. Oh, that's...
The curse
Okay.
of the GM.
Oh no, the GM's curse. I've been spitting. So, you can see that Canoness Leona seems to be holding back the fact that by the throne does she wish that she could be carving up some heretics in the name of the Emperor, but she must make do with this.
And with that, after seeing that, like, expression on her face...
Well, micro expression, but yeah.
Yeah, microaggression.
Hey!
I'm gonna joke. Anyway.
Stop it, you butt.
After seeing that expression, I'm just gonna look at her, look down towards Lioness, and look back slightly at her and just say, Sometimes the action gets a little bit too much.
Oh, is that an occupational hazard of yours?
Unfortunately, yes. I've given much in service of the Emperor already.
And he will judge you when you reach his throne.
Oh, I still have a lot more to give before that happens.
Then I hope he will look favorably upon you.
But, and I'm going to look back towards her, it's good to know that there's an active an active order of sisters ready and waiting for war.
Of course. And when the call of duty comes, we will be there. As as you walk through the medical wing, you reach a section which has been cordoned off by uh, I'm blanking on the small words today. Curtains. There we go. I swear I can English. You find a section of the medical ward. Uh, uh,
Quarantine off?
not quarantine technically. Sectioned off. Let's go with that.
Quartered off.
Quartered off by white curtains, and you can see movement behind them. As the two of you walk through, you can see that while the beds that were behind you were mostly empty or kept for, or rather kept for people that were suffering from lesser injuries, in here you can see that there's a whole section of beds seemingly reserved for sisters that have, well, suffered grievous injuries and seem to be in the process of healing, with various stubs being bandaged up and scar tissue beginning to form.
So you do still see action on here?
Not here. These are casualties from Myros Kappa.
Damned greenskins.
Indeed, they are a pest that seems to never cease to be a thorn in the Imperium's side. But once in a blue moon, they do surge up, and the Lord Commander of the Battle Zone, requests us to come in and purge the filth. We are more than happy to oblige him.
Has the war been successful then, I assume?
At this, you hear her snort a bit and says, "No. The world of Myros Kappa has been embroiled in war for centuries. Ever since the Greenskins came, we've had a damnable time of trying to unseating them from the world. The men of the Astra Militarum do a good enough job of trenching them down, but that is theirs, and their glory can be earned in the trenches of that world."
No angels to assist?
No, not that I know of. The Angels of Death won't arrive for just any old threat. Greenskins roaming around on a single world is nothing to warrant their attention. Now, if there were to be a actual Greenskin uprising where they could get enough technology to somehow make it into the void, then the Adeptus Astartes would show up.
That is very true. It still pains me to see sisters in this condition.
I do, and it does so. So, what's the word I'm trying to look at? Pains you to see in the decision. And she says, "It pains me as well, but they will be outfitted with bionics and return to active duty once the time comes."
When she says bionics, I'm just gonna rub my leg instinctively for a second.
And with that, one of the Hospitallers approaches in their... actually, what do Hospitallers wear
They do
when
have
not
power
in
armor.
They do have it, but they don't wear it
Oh,
like...
it's
they
just a
wouldn't wear it
surgical
here.
gown.
No, fair enough. A white Medicaid gown, let's call it that, because they're currently not doing surgery. I'm actually kind of thinking of the outfit that the Rejuvenat therapist from Rogue Trader Kill
Yeah.
Team has
Yeah,
on.
scrubs. Quite literally.
Ha, that's funny. Yes, one of the Hospitallers approaches in her Medicaid scrubs, and you see that she is of very small stature. Actually, did we have her height written down here?
5'6".
5 foot. Oh wow, same height as Kali. That's actually a coincidence, as I didn't know. Oh, 5'7".
Oh, she's slightly taller.
Slightly taller, but she's still small. So, you see a small figure of a woman. Her white hair is slightly curled on the end, and one of her eyes has a healed scar over it, and said eye only is milky white from the injury that she has sustained. Canoness Lyona, can I assist you? Yes, says Leona. You can. I am here. We have come here, and I need to drink again because, man, my throat is killing me.
Jokes.
Oh god, it's not going away. My throat is actually burning.
Power through it, babe.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna end this scene, and then do the cliffhanger, and then I'm gonna have to call it, because this is getting unbearable.
Okay.
Alright, so, this, yes, I am here on behalf of, and she looks at you, Inquisitor Lockwood. The Hospitaller seems to hold her cool much better than that of Sister Lysandra, and she bows her head slightly while making the one-handed sign of the Aquila. And
I'm just gonna look at her and in the back of my mind, I'm gonna be like, okay, this is getting dangerous.
what is?
Anyway, continue.
Oh, the fact that you told her that you're Inquisition? Well,
I never said, and I quote, I am an Inquisitor. I simply showed her the badge, the sigil of office, and that was it.
Yeah, and you haven't corrected her.
Well, that's her own fault.
No, that's your fault.
Continue.
So, the petite, white-haired woman says, I am Hospitaller Albry Brave Crossing. A pleasure to meet you, Inquisitor.
Please, just Rosalina. And I'm going to hold out my arm and mostly as an instinct do like the warrior greeting where they grab the wrist.
Yes, that is true. And she grabs your arm and, well, grabs your wrist and shakes it.
I am in need of a person of your skill.
Oh, you are in need of a Medicaid? You don't look injured.
No, not as of this moment. But our current Medicaid official had to be removed from my warband. I require a new one.
Oh, Hospitaller Albury seems rather taken aback by this, and she looks at Canoness Lyona, who says, You will be reassigned to the Inquisitor until such a time, and when she releases you from service, you are then to return back here. Is that understood, Hospitaller Albray?
And
Uh,
before she says anything, I'm gonna look at her and just put my hand up to calm her for a moment and just say, "Relax. All of your oaths will still be met. You will not be asked to perform any feat of violence."
of course. I, I, yes, yes, of course, I will. And with that, she nods at the canoness and says, if you'll excuse me, I would like to suit up.
Of course. If you have any personal belongings that you wish to take with you, please gather them. Put them into a backpack. Take them with you.
That won't be necessary.
You travel light then, I assume.
No, my home is here, and I intend to return.
And at that, I'm going to smile. I like your attitude.
Of course, the Emperor protects.
That he does.
And with that, some minutes later, the sister returns, and she is fully dressed in her panoply of war, with her respirator hanging, with her respirator affixed. Actually, I'm going to say that it's hanging around her neck.
Oh, that's so uncomfortable. I do that with
Yeah.
mine in the power
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but hey, they're sisters, they can take it.
Yep.
So, with that, you can see that the power armor is painted in the white and gold of the Order of the Shining Blade, and she has a gnarly-looking narthecium strapped to her wrist.
I'm just going to look at her and be like, that thing. All right, I assume you have everything you need.
I do. Shall we be leaving?
I have to meet up with the other members. But yes, follow me.
Oh,
I gotta head out.
yes.
I'll talk to you later.
Yes, I'm going to, I will only do one more scene mope, and I'll describe it to you once we stop
Once you
the
come
request.
back.
Yeah, once you
No
come back.
worries. I'll see you both in like a little over an hour.
Yep. Later, mope.
Okay,
All right.
continue.
So, with that, the canoness turns towards you and says, if there was nothing else, Inquisitor, I will be returning to my quarters.
Very well. Perhaps we could get a sparring match in one of these days while I'm here.
You see the slightest tug of a smile on the canoness's face before it disappears as quickly, and she says, yes, we might be able to. And she takes her leave. Oh, go ahead.
Is Aubrey carrying anything
Carrying anything in the sense of...
in her hands? Aside from one
cur-
narthecium strapped to her wrist.
No, currently she is not.
I'm just gonna look her over really quickly. You have grenades? They look non-lethal. What are in those?
Yeah. Oh, I have web grenades, smoke grenades, photon flash grenade, hallucinogen grenades, and every manner of drug that I was able to take with me without getting into trouble.
Non-combatant. I like it. Oh, by the way, this entire time I was traveling with Riza, right?
That's up to you.
Yeah. Because she's just been floating by me.
Right.
And my two servo skulls are going to take a picture of all of her war gear and everything.
Click, 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 click. Alrighty. So, with that, as you leave with Hospitaller Albury. You, as you step outside into the hall outside the medical ward, a strange event, a strange, well, a unusual event occurs. You see an obsidian black servo skull hover before you and scan its auspex beam over your face before the light on its eye turns green.
What is this?
And when you do, and when it does, the skull floats off.
I'm gonna roll awareness. I'm gonna
Right.
re-roll awareness.
There you go. What were you looking for?
Is that thing inquisitorial?
You look over every... as you look over the servo skull, you are able to find an embossed sigil near on the left temple of the skull. It is very difficult to see as it is not lit up, and it is fairly small. But you do in fact see the tri-barred eye.
And at that, I'm just gonna go a little bit wide-eyed for a second and just be like, oh, crap. Or, actually, I'll just say Emperor's Teeth. Just really, really, really low so Aubrey doesn't hear me.
She says, "What was that?"
Nothing. We have to get going soon.
Oh, of course. Lead the way, Inquisitor, or should I not say that?
No, simply Rosalina. Logging, runner. Get pictures of that thing. Send them to Tarvok.
Oh, of course, of course.
No, that was me talking to the servo skulls.
Oh, right. Fair enough. My bad.
I'm telling them to get pictures of the inquisitorial seal and the servo skull.
Oh, they get... you're a bit slow on the draw, but you do get a picture of the skull as it's floating away.
Ah, crud. Tarvok.
Yeah. As he kind of lifts his finger to Kali and says, "Yes, Rosalina."
We have a problem.
What? His face drops.
I'll meet you in person and tell you.
Indeed. And with that, he'll kind of slam the book closed. Kali, I do apologize for the sudden departure, but unfortunately, business has called me elsewhere. However, we may keep in contact, and I will give her my Vox number. If you see anything of interest, let me know.
You give her your Vox frequency.
Yeah, not my comm link, but my Vox frequency. I have two forms of it.
Yes.
You may call those digits.
Unfortunately, I only have two digits though, 1 and 0.
Anyway.
So, that was good. And with that, we will return next week.
Oh crap, Inquisition. This is gonna
Now
be a pickle.
Now the shoe is on the other foot. How does it feel?
Damn it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Rosalina might get into some serious trouble. Let's see what happens next week. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing, and following the channel. I want to thank all of my awesome Patreon peoples. You guys are great. As always, I'm Northern Queen Alexis. I love you guys. Bye.